Oh, how is everyone today? It is 1:30, so we're gonna get going. Thanks for joining us. I know we might be a small but mighty. The first breakout session has everybody coming back from lunch and things. Did a lot of you guys in the room go to Lisa Harper this morning? Perfect. She was amazing. So funny. So easy to listen to. For us, since we're talking about this is social media, photography, and capturing what matters, she was so photogenic, so easy to take photos of. So this is some of our creative team and then also an extension of our creative team in our next gen department. So I'll just kind of let us go through intros, and we want to spend a lot of this time doing some Q&A with you guys just to kind of hear. I know everyone's probably coming to this breakout with a different question, a different perspective as to why they're looking to grow their social media, if it's for a church, if it's personally, if it's for a brand. But we are primarily, doing church media. So we'll let Cody start, and then we'll kind of just go down the line, and we're going to tell you guys who we are and what we do here at Victory.
Hi, I'm Cody. I work here at Victory on the creative team. I'm the video team lead, so I help produce and edit and shoot all our in-service videos. So it's like opener videos, testimony videos, and then I also am helping with social media. So whatever we make for service, we usually try to make something for social media as well. So just converting what we have. I'm married to Samantha.
Yes, so if you get like married couple stage vibes, we won't argue in front of everyone, we promise.
Yeah.
We don't argue. Good marriage, yeah.
But yeah, that's me.
Nice. I'm Sam or Samantha. I get to lead our photography team and then also our volunteers. We call them the Prod Squad. This name was made in 2016, so exactly 10 years ago. But it's still a good name. If it's not broken, don't leave it, I guess. Don't fix it, yeah. And then I also get to oversee our social media for the ministry and work with our different our departments have someone kind of on staff. We have, I think, 14 or 15 different entities that have social media accounts ranging from Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, etc. So, but yeah, I love it, and it's so great. And I get to work with Jazz. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, my name is Jazz, or my full name is Jaslyn. I actually started working in the U under Sam in social media, but then I moved over to our young adults department where I get to also work in social media, and that looks different every single day. That's making things to post on the account. I've also helped make some of our testimony videos. Some of our testimony videos have also been in tangent with the creative department here, so shout out to them that we can have that close relationship department-wise. And then I also have just had experience outside of Victory doing social media for different clients, for other brands and bigger companies, so all things social media is what I love to do.
Nice. We could do snaps.
Yeah, we could do snaps. Jazz actually worked with my sister, which is super fun in a marketing agency. My name is Kyle McNaya. I'm the senior graphic designer here. I've been doing this, I've been working in this department since 2018, so I've seen, with Sam, and so we've seen a lot of change. I'm so happy that I'm still in this position today, but I oversee anything from print, everything from merch, all the fun things, and a lot of the boring things too. A lot of mailers that we send out, a lot of print designs that you guys may not see, but I'm spending a lot of hours doing that. And so it's a job that I have to be very flexible in, because there are some jobs that are I have to be as creative as possible, and others it's pretty just put a font and just move forward. And so it's a fun job, and I'm very grateful to be here today talking to you guys.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about us. And then after this, we'd love to connect with you guys to learn a little more about you guys as well. Who in this room is a staff member at a church or a pastor? Anybody? Nice. Just kind of like to see the audience we're talking to. Who in this room is a creative? You are already a content creator. Nice. I know with social media, we're all content creators nowadays. But who maybe went to school for something creative, if it's film design? Nice, perfect. Cool. And then everyone else in this room, you guys just wanted to join us, right? Who has social media in this room? Perfect. And if you don't, maybe it's a good thing. But it is a tool. We love to use it here at Victory. We were definitely in the wave of Instagram when it came out and so excited about it, where some churches maybe weren't always taking it as seriously. But today I'm going to ask just a few questions to Jazz, Kyle, Cody, and then maybe answer a little bit about my role, and then we want to just jump into Q&A. So if there's any question that I ask that you guys want us to revisit later, please feel free to write it down so we can kind of jump back to it. Jazz, I'm going to start with you. Kind of the topics and things I wanted her to talk about. She is working in the young adults for Victory and isn't in our main creative department, but she's a creative department kind of within herself in that department. So if you guys were to work at a church, different size ministries, sometimes people are wearing lots of hats and doing different things creatively. I know we all are in some cases. So how do you kind of balance those things, and what helps make your content authentic and I guess worth capturing? What matters?
Okay. I would say first, how do I balance all of those things? To give you an overview of my current role, it's titled VYA Coordinator, but under that means I'm running the social media for our department, capturing all the content with the help of some of our volunteers on our Thursday night service, while also doing a lot of the administrative work outside of social media. So in order for me to stay on top of everything that I'm doing, I would highly suggest that you use any sort of organization platform. One of my favorites is monday.com. You can go in there and put all your tasks in, and then you can kind of mark off when you finish them. You can share that within your teams. Victory also uses Asana, which is another platform that everyone can go in and see who's doing what, who's responsible for what. It's just a great tool to stay organized and on top of all of your tasks that you have to do and complete on time, of course. And then as far as content worth capturing, I think something that makes young adult content fun is that I'm a young adult doing content for young adults. So I feel like I kind of have a cheat code in the sense of being within the age bracket that we're trying to reach. So I know naturally, hey, okay, this is going to go well with the 18 to 25-year-olds. This kind of feels a little bit more youthy, so like our middle school and high school age. Shout out to Elena back there. She does the social media for our youth. But something that I think has made our content authentic is being able to allow people to see our personality behind what we post. Sometimes people think people at a church either don't actually work or have a job, or they feel like all their content is going to be exactly the same. But I think if we're able to show we actually do have fun in the office, not just on a Wednesday or on a Thursday night service where, of course, you're going to get clips of worship and the word and people coming into the lobby, but it's okay, how can I showcase also what we're doing throughout the week? So I remember I posted a reel of Sam, actually. I asked her to be in a reel, and there are...
Yes, I remember.
Yes, there are so many times where we are asking each other to be in content that we're posting throughout the week, because if we don't have a service yet, we don't really have volunteers to use yet, so we use each other a lot. But I posted a reel of her, and she came into the office, the Next Gen offices, and one of the guys that works in there had a bunch of these little Jesus figurines on his desk. They're
like rubber.
Yeah, they're like little rubber figurines that were trending and going around. People would take them and place them in coffee shops and libraries and stuff, and it was a fun thing to do. But he had a bunch of them laid out on his desk, right? So Sam came in, and I don't even know how that idea sparked. I think
I was just making a joke to Jazz.
Yeah,
and then
she was making a joke, and I said, we
idea.
should record this. And so she came in, and she starts looking at the little Jesus figurines, and she's like, El Shaddai, Elohim, Yahweh, Jireh. And I was like, wait, let me record this. So then I recorded her. I said, okay, guys, we have Sam here today, and she's going to say as many names as Jesus as she can. So then I recorded her doing that exact same thing that was supposed to just be a joke, but then it went over well with me posting it. So it's little things like that you can do and turn into an idea, and it was very quick and easy as well. So sometimes you will have the time to be able to sit down and be like, okay, what is the content that I'm planning out for the week? Or you'll also have those moments where you're literally just in conversation and organically something will come out of the woodworks and you're like, we should record this and post it. So yeah, adding personality back into our page, which can turn into just a lot of promotion of like, come to our service, come to this event, kind of helps weed out, or not weed out, it helps just make it an all-around good page to be looking at and engaging with. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I feel like something we always tell our social media content creators, our photographers, video, if we don't personally enjoy and like the content, why are we making it? Now, sometimes as a content creator, you're going to be asked to make something, and maybe you would have done it differently. You have a different idea. You know, there's the whole like prideful aspect of creating, because it can be an art form. It is an art form for us. And so there's the aspect of, you know, if you're working for someone, the submission of like, okay, I'm going to get behind this idea and like serve your house or serve, you know, wherever you're working, or just for yourself, you're going to have an idea. I think one thing you brought up is it can be so simple, like it doesn't have to be so complex. And so I always tell them to find we have a lot of promotions, right? We're promoting Victory Conference. We're promoting different things for people to attend here. But we also want there to just be feel-good content. And feel-good content is just a term I use, so Sam's dictionary. But it is content that is just kind of blank, and it really just showcases the community maybe. It also showcases the personality on the account. It showcases that this can be like authentic and tangible, where they can like maybe relate to something. So there doesn't always have to be a promotion tied to the real, the carousel, the post that you're doing. Sometimes people way overpost graphics, and people don't always emotionally connect to graphics as much as they do. So you want to be able to layer the graphic design where it also has personality, and utilize that tool to put it on videos. And that is what makes it kind of, it's like the sugar coating, the icing, the cherry on top. The good design is like aesthetic. It maybe catches your eye. It's a different form, right, to make it feel professional, maybe on brand. But then also there's really simple things that you don't have to kind of over-create. People are making videos all day long, just like putting their phone up and talking to it, you know? So how can you do a mix of that content? And for Victory, personally, I always ask to make it feel authentic, how can I make people feel a part of this house through their phone? So when we're posting photos, just to kind of jump on that train really quick, while it's on my thought, like photography in the church is just event photography, right? It's capturing what's going on. The moment's gonna happen without the camera out, you know? The moment is already going to go by so fast unless you're on it to capture it. And so for our photographers and our video team and even our social media captures on iPhone, I want them to be present in the moment. So I think good content capturing is you being present and feeling what's going on in that moment. And when it relates to ministry, it's us also being in the presence of God, knowing what God's doing in the room. It will feel disconnected and unauthentic whenever you're just capturing it like a bystander. So don't mentally capture it like you just walked in and you're about to walk out because you got to go edit something. Be in the moment, be in the room. I always encourage our shooters to, our capturers. Shooter sounds weird in today's society. But we want to be able to put our camera down, and we want to be able to also be in the presence of God. So I think that's something that for us has been a secret ingredient of allowing people to really enjoy what they're creating, and then also to make something that's authentic because they're feeling it, you know? Jake is in the back of the room. Say hey, Jake. He is awesome, and he just joined our video team and creates a lot for our outreach account and missions. And Jake shot something last night, edited it together, and it was a lot of worship moments and also just like moments in the room, people feeling what was going on and what God was doing. And he compiled that together, and I could tell the emotion from the video because Jake was in it, you know? He wasn't like halfway, he was fully in it. And those might be general terms where like, I don't know what you mean, but if you personally pick up a camera or pick up a phone to capture something, you'll know whenever you're mentally like in it or you're not, you know? So next question for Kyle. We are gonna ask you, Kyle, I would say, how does your graphic design tell a story to someone even before they walk in the door to Victory? through branding, through all the things we do online, and then maybe talk a little bit about how you share, how you feel about the merch items too that you get to create.
Yeah, I think starting with the merch items, I think it's cool because I think that's such that is such an opportunity for us to be a walking advertisement for this church, for who we follow, which is Jesus Christ. And so I think it's really important for me that we, I care a lot about uniformity, and I think that like the message that Victory carries is love God, love people, and you can see that from the top down, from the very top of our leadership to every single one of our employees. Everything that we carry is love God, love people, and so I want to carry the same type of vision with our graphics, and not every single one of them is going to say love God, love people, but I think I love the idea of, because this church cares about consistency, that I keep that in our graphics as well. Because I think there would be a disconnect there. And so you go outside the lobby, everything looks blue and black. And so everything has pretty much the same fonts. And so I want to keep that pretty uniform with our social media as well. But yeah, going back to the merch, like you said, I think that has been something that I really took pride on. I remember the first time that I made a merch item. It was Victory Conference 2020. And so I'm a self-taught designer, and so it was really exciting, because I think like when I first moved here, all I really wanted was to make merch. I wanted to make clothes and all this stuff. But I was such a raw like talent, and so my former boss, his name is Dustin Coble, which I credit a lot of what I've learned and how I operate and how I think about design to him. And the way that I learned from him was very unique, because I think a lot of people want to go to school, and I think a lot of people want to, be in a program, but I think just watching someone who you look up to and you admire, sometimes that's more than enough to get you where you need to be. And so it was really cool, because I think the last, leading up to that point, it was 2 years. And I just was waiting for my opportunity. I want to make a merch item so bad. I want to make one so bad. And so he finally gave me the opportunity to, and oh my gosh, I was so stressed out, because I think I cared so much about the creative, all the things that I had inside of me, and I wanted to show off, but it's not about that. It's about, at the end of the day, it's about victory. And so I think that has helped me every single time I have a project and I want to do too much. I always tell my oversight, just let me cook. But it's really just not about that. It's about the word of God. It's about the message that Victory has, which is loving God, loving people, having a open space for people to walk into. And so that is what, in everything that I'm making now, I think before I really wanted to make merch items that didn't say Victory, that didn't pertain to a church. But I think it's important for Victory's name to be out there. And so encouragement for your guys' church, it's important for your guys' church's name to be on, a merch item or whatever it is. And so going back to my story about my first conference thing that I designed, and I think I'm going to tie in a little bit to how much that we have to be dependent on the Holy Spirit when we're creating these things, because I think I've definitely seen in my tenure as a designer the times where I'm dependent on my own ability, and how it just doesn't, to me, I could look at it and it just doesn't sit right with, the ministry as a whole. But the times that I do take the time and I am prayerful about, Lord, give me the strength, give me the right garment, give me the right thing. I think sometimes, I always think that is doing too much, but that is just, as a believer, that's what we have to do to go where we need to go. And so, yeah, that day, so my boss gave me 2 weeks at the time, make the merch in 2 weeks, but he knew that I just was all I cared to do was just make something cool. But then, so he cut it short. So he gave me the deadline. So let's say it was a Monday, August 5th. That was the day that he gave it to me. He's I want it by August 20th. By the end of that week, the first week they gave it to me, he's I just wanted to see it today. And so I asked him, I was why? I don't understand why you had to cut the deadline short. But the first thing was, he was telling me that man, that's how ministry is sometimes. Sometimes you just have to put it all together and you have to figure it out. And the second thing was, he was like, I really wanted to see when your back is against the wall, like what can the Holy Spirit like move through? And that has stuck with me every single day. Like it is like doing graphics and being the only graphic designer, it is a high capacity job. And so sometimes I really just have to like think, and I really have to actively pray. You don't always just get to go to your prayer closet and just do that. And so I think from that moment on, I was like, man, the things that I'm creating, it's not about me. Because again, the reason, like I was saying, that he realized that everything that I wanted to make was about me. And I think once I was able to lay that down, I think I was really able to find my footing here in this ministry, and really understand that, like, man, I just want to be a vessel for Pastor Paul. I just want to be whatever vision that Pastor Paul, or Pastor Ashley, or Pastor Daniel Henshaw want. I want to be able to push that forward. Am I stubborn about it sometimes? Sure. But just because, like, sometimes I just have my own thing that I want to do. But at the end of the day, it's like I have tried to lay my ego aside and really just tried to push the vision of victory, whatever that pertains to for whatever event. So, yeah, I know that was a lot, but.
That was good. That was good. One thing does this work? Hello? Sorry, I think I keep turning it off. Sorry. One thing our creative pastor coined a handful of years ago, the heart for the house drives the art for the house. So I guess just bottom line, our heart to create whatever it is we're working is what drives it getting done, and then also God helping us accomplish it, you know? Okay, Cody, we're going to do next question to you. Biggest thing is kind of what is important to capture with like capturing what matters. We have these full services that have so much in it. What are the moments that you're looking for from a video perspective to capture, and what are the moments that you're looking for to include whenever we're showcasing, you know, in a recap video on social media? What are the things you're looking for, and really what matters?
I think when I'm capturing and do you keep hearing that? Oh.
Yeah. There's like an echo.
There's an echo.
It's okay.
Whenever I'm capturing, I'm always trying to be engaged in the service as well. Sam kind of talked about that, and I think it's really important to just be present in the moment. And so, you know, as I'm shooting or capturing, I'm also praying under my breath or just in the spirit, and kind of being open to like what God wants to do. Here at Victory, you know, like we have a plan, but often we go off plan and follow like where we feel like the Lord is leading us. And so I take that into like what I'm doing in the service, being open to like, okay, God, what are you trying to show me? What can I see that nobody else is seeing? Or, you know, even if other people are seeing it, like what specifically is it that I can capture right now to, you know, bring you glory? And, you know, sometimes whenever you're shooting, it's, you're like, I want to get the money shot. I want to get the shot that everybody's impressed with. And I want it to be awesome. And I like want people to know I know how to do this. But oftentimes I've found like some of the best shots are like just simple moments, and even just like a wide room, like just seeing like a whole church body in unison, like worshiping God, is so simple and so wide that like just seeing the unity within the body of God in a service is even just simple and like, I don't know. So I think, yeah, just being open to like what the Lord has, being engaged in what's happening in service, keeping your eyes peeled for whatever might happen, but also just being spiritually attuned to like, God, what is it that I can do right now to glorify you? And keeping that in the forefront of your mind. Kind of like what Kyle was talking about, putting your ego aside, putting aside like your desire to be known or be seen, or like for people to know, oh, I know how to do this. But just making your goal to be like, how can I glorify God with what I'm doing in this moment, and how can I show people who God is? Because a lot of the stuff you post on social media, you don't know like what it will do, you don't know how it will perform, and so much of that, like, it's funny, like social media to me is so funny for a church because we get caught up in analytics, or like, who did this reach, what's the engagement on that. But like, at the end of the day, if we are pursuing God and making that our focus, then it'll get to the people it needs to get to.
Really good. On a practical note, Cody, what do you think is something, just like kind of our process for video, to just kind of jump on the practical side of like what's important to capture within a service?
Yeah. So we pretty much shoot everything from start to finish. Like, we have people ready at all times. So we're trying to just be available to whatever may happen. But practically,
Like talk about the vertical cam we have in the back and
Yeah.
kind of the flow for video.
yeah. So for in service, we capture the whole sermon on one dedicated camera that we can use for social media clips only. So we have all the cameras that the screens will show, but we have one that's dedicated, just it's vertical, so that way we can make reels from it. And that is just a specific thing that we do, so that way we have, something we can bank on, that like, okay, we have this camera that got a good social media angle that we can use. And then we have multiple videographers that will be in a service, and we kind of break it up. Like, sometimes I won't shoot service, I'll just worship, or I won't shoot worship, I'll just worship, and then I'll go down and do the vertical camera, or vice versa. So just different flow for different days. But we don't have like a set. I mean, like, when we have people scheduled, we have something for them planned, but it's never like this is our formula.
A big part of it too, with capturing any event, normal weekend service, or really just anything we're capturing, it's like we need to be flexible and go with the flow. The vertical camera is an example of like, we wanted to have a high quality version that was easily accessible, so we wanted to make it simple for ourselves. And our it's another thing too, if you're doing church media specifically, kind of like what Kyle was talking about, like connecting with your pastor and figuring out the needs of your leadership whenever you are a creative department helps so much, because it makes it, you can then put the practical things in place you need to execute the overall vision. But with our photography is kind of on a practical note, and then I want to jump into Q&A. We have cameras that we make available to our volunteers, or we try to connect with people that are already pursuing photography, video, etc., in their everyday life. It's so great having volunteers that do it professionally, because they also can, we're just learning from them too. And so there's going to be self-taught people, there's going to be people that go to school for it, and you are able to, let people glean from each other. There's like a certain standard that we try to follow, and if you guys are in the church world of media and are trying to create those volunteers, I'll put up my email at the end, and we also have a QR code. You guys can view our form, or even if you're someone here today and you're like, I would be interested in serving, the form is what people fill out so we can understand their experience and where they're at. And then from there, we let people go down and capture service. From the capturing, we normally edit people's photos, and we do a day of turnaround for all of our content. That is kind of, I would say, 50% rare in the church world media. Social media just goes by so quickly. And another thing I like to tell people is we're chewing the same piece of gum all day long, every day, right? We know our mission, we know our vision, and it's all about Jesus, right? And every piece of content, every photo we capture, every video, we're looking at how does someone see this, and then they can walk away being like, wow, they're experiencing victory in their life, or that makes me remember about like what God did in my life, or maybe that should encourage me to like call that person I need to call because I really need someone right now. Or I need to just reach out to God. Like I need to attend a service. And if that is they're locally here and they get connected to Victory, or if it's them diving into the ministry they're already connected to, or just finding a church near them because they're not at one. We want our content to go back to the same message. And so it's easy to weed through the trends and all of the things that we have. And so you look at the practical aspect of how to create something, but then you also can just always go back to your vision. So I think start for yourself today if you guys want to create things. What is my vision and what is my mission of why I'm creating what I'm creating and why I'm trying to do that? And then the practical things come in line. Obviously, YouTube, you can figure out how to do anything. TikTok, we learn a lot from. And then, also asking yourself, if I create things, do I need to create all these things? Like I dabbled in graphic design. You can kind of be a jack of all trades, but then also you can find that one piece of content creation you really enjoy and get life from. So I wanted to kick it to you guys. Later, we have more questions if no one has questions that we can go over, but I want to hear what you guys are interested in knowing about what we do here at Victory. If it is a process, like a physical, what do you guys use to like store your photos or whatever, or if it's just kind of anything along the church side of like how it is working in ministry for media, or doing media. Anybody? Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can. Kyle, are you down to be the runner? Okay.
I will go to you.
Perfect. Nice. Yes, you were asking about, and what's your name? Sean. Okay, glad you're here. Yes, we use the vertical cam mainly to get a good sermon clip on Sundays to post about the message. And then we also like to use it to capture like the ministry time moment. And sometimes we're just using that moment to cut back to if we're creating, I call it a mashup, but more of like a compilation video of different footage throughout the service. So maybe like altar shots, if we have baptisms, our confession moment in service is like a unique moment for us that shows our whole congregation together, using those different kind of clips. And we'll put Pastor Ashley or Pastor Paul or whoever's doing ministry time or the message, like a audio bite. We can cut back between to them talking about it, but then also we kind of use that as, audios for our reels too. And so we like to have that to look back through. And then it also just looks, our cameras in the room are different cameras from the camera we have in the back that's vertically. So do you want to kind of explain that a little bit?
So we're shooting in 4K, so that way the quality is higher. And we can cut to moments, zoom in more on the video itself, just for the format to help create the content. But yeah.
The regular camera, but you just turned it vertically. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then also our pastor is very spontaneous, which we love because nothing's ever boring or the same. And it does keep us on our toes and doing our jobs well. He will just pull up people. Like I remember one time we gave away a car and only a few people, internal communication can always get better, but only a few people knew. So we had someone on that vertical cam and it was perfect because then we also got to showcase that testimony on social media of the person that received a car because at Victory, we do a lot of outreach like that too. Yeah.
What is one of your most proud moments in social media, and maybe describe it and why it was?
Oh, that's a good
I like
question.
to learn by
absolutely.
how y'all looked at it. Do y'all have a picture of it or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't.
Jazz, you should
I
answer
have a
and I'll-
moment. I don't have it with me, but I remember this was a couple months ago, and I was just like, okay, I feel like I've been posting a lot of the same content on our young adult page, and to kind of go back to what Kyle was saying earlier about his process and how important it is to invite the Lord in the smallest of things as a social media post. And there was a day where I was like, you know what? I don't really know what to post. All I have is this clip of some young adults worshiping, even though I feel like we post about worship a lot. And I don't even remember what the exact scripture was that I put on the video, but I posted just a video of young adults worshiping. at the altar. The most simple. It took me 3 seconds to
Like
think.
one clip. It wasn't
Like
like
literally
compilation of
one
clips.
clip, not a compilation of like a bunch of movement or anything. It was literally just people laid out at the altar. And I think, and that video got like thousands of, like, it ended up going viral unintentionally. And I also want to shout out just our media team here in general, because I think that the work that they do, they're not just doing it because they're wanting to go viral or because they're wanting to, you know, be the best at some trend. I personally believe that they would be just as intentional even if what they made never got posted. But yeah, it was just a simple video of people worshiping that ended up getting a lot of likes, a lot of views. And I was like, you know what, Lord? How crazy is it that this many people just got to see someone worship and they liked it, you know? So I think it was just a reminder to me that it doesn't have to be all the time that you have this grandiose idea, you know, that nobody else
Takes
has
hours
thought
to
of.
edit.
Takes hours out of your day to edit. And I think because of the level of excellence that we do have here in terms of everything, and especially our media, it really is appreciated when we get to work with people that are professionals at what they do, and even volunteers that are great at what they do and they don't even work here. I think that's all great. But I also love how even the simplest of things can reach people and also do just as well as something you would have spent hours on. So yeah, I think that's something that I'm the most proud of, because it was just a reminder to me that at the end of the day, social media is not going to heaven with us, unfortunately. But as long as we can reach
No, that's so
people
true.
while we're here in the simplest way of somebody worshiping, that's great.
Everything that you said, and then we'll go to the next question. Who else has a question? Spencer's going to bring you a mic. Also, give it up for Spencer, guys. He's our creative director. Yeah, like we got a clip of a guy that was just at the altar jumping, and he was praising God, and I captured it on my phone thinking we were going to put it in a story, like mashup or compilation video, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, and then I just posted it, and it went viral, and it was just me noticing him having a great moment with God. So
You can
very
talk
cool.
about the Jill clip too as well. The baptism.
Oh, yes. So recently, thanks, Spencer, we posted, we're not as active on TikTok as Instagram, and we're trying to get better at that. But we posted, we put a mic on one of our pastors, Jill Stafford, while doing a baptism moment with a girl. We didn't even know the girl that was getting baptized. And I had our, a video girl, Rakita, just put the audio to it and cut just that baptism moment. Jill's in the tank with her, and she's just like, so sweetie, what are you here like asking God for today? The girl shares that her dad passed away and he got baptized here, and she was like, I felt like it was my moment to also get baptized. Just very simple answer, so beautiful. It's like at 1.3 million views on TikTok, and not that that's to be praised, it's just people want those tangible small moments, and that is what makes people feel encouraged to go to church, get to know God, you know. So Terrell.
Is there anything that you honestly feel like you could improve on or even keep the same?
Yeah, Kyle, take it away, because we all have that.
I mean, I definitely,
But
that is
it's-
something that I'm very introspective. So I feel like not a week goes by and I'm like, man, what do I gotta improve on? I do think that I'm a big overthinker as well. And so I think for me, because I'm self-taught, I think there's just a lot of things that I don't know. And I think that it's okay to do that. Like I teach at the college, I teach graphic design too. And that is a whirlwind for me because I have learned in a very untraditional way. And so I think everything from like fonts and colors and understanding what people will like and will not like. I think it's very good to be self-aware. Very good to understand that like I just don't know everything yet. And so that's a conversation I have with Spencer all the time, you know, because like I would like to think like I'm like, oh, I almost have a decade of experience. I know. I just don't know. And that is where you leave that room, you leave that margin for the Lord to answer what you don't know. And so for me, I never want to know everything. I really just want to continue to be humble in the craft that I want to be the best at. I want to be the best in the room, but that doesn't mean I know everything. So yeah, really just always having an open mind and an open heart about like, man, what can I improve with? Because even this conference too, like it has been very humbling because I branded a conference in 2023. And I was so proud of it because I really felt like I was able to find a trend before it happened. And it was Western, it was horses, all this stuff. Obviously, living in Oklahoma, that's not really a trend, that is just a thing. But I think in the design world, that really wasn't a thing yet. But I really caught it, I jumped on it, and it was great. But I feel like for me, I'm always trying to chase that high of like, man, 2023 though, that was sick. And I think I have heard like, and this isn't an offense, but it's like, and also that is another thing too. It's like, try your best to be unoffendable. I'm a very sensitive guy. Sometimes I hear things like, man, that really hurt my feelings. But and I hear that with my craft too. Like even though that I know, like, and I tried to say this in the most humble way. It's like I know that I'm good at my job, but that doesn't mean that I'm the best, even though I want to be the best. But I think I've been hearing the last few weeks, you know, like when it has come to the conference branding, oh, it's not as good as 2023. It's not as good as 2024. Me, I'm sensitive. And so I just like, dang, like, I wish that I could appease you guys, but I just am like, sometimes you got it and sometimes you don't. And I think that's okay. I think that's something that I'm learning sometimes too. It's like sports too. Sometimes your favorite player has it, sometimes he doesn't. And so, but that doesn't mean that he's going to try his best to perform. And so that's something that I'm learning. That's something that like, that is not practical towards my role, what I do every day, but I think internally that is what I'm trying to work on as I get older as well.
So good. Yeah, Jazz. And then we'll get to the next people.
Yes, I was going to say that even practically, I mean, like we said, we all have something to work on. None of us are perfect. But practically, something I do to make sure I'm staying up to date on trends or what's been working, or even like Instagram is changing all the time. So maybe they've changed the ratio on their reels or something like that. I have subscribed to a couple email blasts maybe that are like specific to marketing. I will go watch YouTube videos on how to make something or how to color grade, because what if Cody's not available, you know what I mean, to help me do something? What if I don't have Kyle to make me a graphic for our young adults page?
Jazz has been very helpful with it. Like sometimes I don't have the capacity to make
Take
a 4x6
initiative.
card. Jazz will just do it, so that's great.
Yes, so sometimes you can't always depend on someone else to do it for you. So why not go learn it yourself, especially in this day and age that we live in where we have so much access to everything. But yeah, subscribe to a YouTube channel, follow all the marketing pages that you can. Even LinkedIn, surprisingly, is a place where I've been able to find the most random like
coming back.
facts about what's happening in social media right now, or maybe a trend that I can hop on. Just little tips and tricks here and there. So LinkedIn, YouTube, subscribe to one of the marketing email blasts if you can. Really take the time to invest in yourself and in your craft, because that's the only way you can get better. So
good. Next question.
Yeah, ooh, that was loud.
Isn't it?
That answered a little bit of the questions, but we're missionaries, and
Yeah.
we're not local church. We don't have like congregationists that you can gather a group of volunteers and everything. So
Yeah.
do you have anything available to help missionaries develop their social media and their graphic department? Is there something that you guys here, I don't know if there's an department at the school that offers that, but that would be very beneficial to your missionaries. And then, you know, like answering questions like how much time should be spent on social media, because we're not talking every services every Sunday or Wednesday, or like you all, your contact's a lot more, but anything that could help missionaries. Do you
Yeah.
guys have anything that's available like that?
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking for people to help
Absolutely.
us. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I've gone on a fair share of missions with Victory, and I've gotten to connect with pastors on trips. And I think the biggest thing I always say, we don't currently have like an outsource or a resource page for you, but we do love answering questions and connecting with people. So I'd love to connect with you individually. But like Jazz was saying, taking the initiative, or also finding if it is a person that wants to serve or give to you in some way, even if it is remotely, if it is content that you want to feel more like young adult, maybe try to see if you can find someone to do it that is a young adult that already fits within that category. But then also going online to don't feel like you have to try to create everything and you have to try to do every form of media, phones are so brand new and like up to par nowadays that you are able to take a lot of content on that. And so I think it's just about getting a good editing app for video, and trying to all of our floor becomes our ceiling at some point. So try to give yourself a quota for a month and see if you can do it for a month straight of, okay, I'm going to make 2 videos a week that are reels, and I'm just going to learn the basic functions of Instagram. And all you have to do really is go on TikTok and YouTube, and there's someone vlogging about it, talking about how they want to tell you. That's what we do to be self-taught, is like we just get on there and try to figure it out, and then try and fail. It's okay if it doesn't go viral, and it's okay if no one sees it. You just learned how to do that. But then also, if you kind of know a little bit about how to make the content, Pastor Iman is our North Tulsa campus pastor, and she loves media, but she also is willing to like get on her phone and figure it out. She's got 2 kids, and she is doing a lot of things and being a campus pastor, and she likes to make content on her page. And so she's just been like, okay, send me that tutorial or send me that thing. And the more that you look at that content, the algorithm on all social media is going to show you that type of how-to stuff. So the biggest thing for me is taking the initiative to figure out how to do that. And then you're more able to delegate and assign someone what you want out of them, if it is a video, if it is a graphic, if you yourself have also tried to do it. Because I was not in school for photography. I'm self-taught, and I was self-taught for design too. And I came on part-time as our first social media employee. I was still at ORU, and I didn't really have a lot of help. And I was leading the people that were making content, taking photos. And it was so unrealistic for me to tell them to take X amount of photos, do all these things. I need this to look like this, when I didn't know how to do it. And it was just kind of like, what is happening here? So in the same way with ministry and with missions, you guys have experience in the field, then you can talk to other missionaries about it. It's the same thing with media, I think. But yeah, I hope that was kind of helpful. And I'd love to connect more personally one-on-one. So next question.
I was going to add to that.
Oh, yeah.
Chat GPT is your friend.
Chat.
Even though you're on missions,
No.
use chat, especially for graphics. If it's
Yes.
simple,
For sure.
simple messages you want to get out, you can ask chat to help you, and it'll create the graphic for you.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be the best.
Canva has a lot of resources. So
And Canva, yes.
Canva, we can pass the mic over.
Oh, I have something to add on that.
Okay, great. We're going to pass the mic to this guy with the glasses over here, Spencer, and then we'll go to Alexis in the back. But Kyle, go for it.
Yes, I have something to add on your guys' question. But my mother, she is the children's pastor for my church back home, and she has no social media knowledge whatsoever. But it is very cute because she's just a little Asian lady that is on Canva, and she is just trying her best to. People remember words. People remember moments that happen, and I think that is her priority. Because not everyone has a trained eye. Not everyone has a trained eye to create the things that other churches are creating. And so I think that is a good word of encouragement. That it's like, man, just get on Canva, just document the important moments, the big moments, and move from there.
So good.
Canva is a free
Yes, Canva is a free resource for nonprofits. Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. We have we can give you more info on that if you need. Yes, sir. What's your question?
Quick question as far as return on investment, ROI. How do you, you can go by your heart and you go by what the Holy Spirit's telling you, but in what ways do you use analytics and other specific metrics to say, let's do, if something goes viral, you say, let's do more of that. But when you're making those decisions, which way to go, how do you practically measure some of those things?
Yeah, I think there's ways in the past that we have done some surveys to see, it's been a while though, of how people hear about Victory, and that's one. So we use emails that go out to people become members, and then we have a stream of communication with them. Also with our app, so people could really create many forms of getting feedback in that way. I think it is hard because we live in this world where there's just these random numbers on the screen that sometimes dictate things, the likes and the reshares and everything. I did this, and we kind of want to restructure how it is, but I used to go through our posts once a month, and I would go through the previous months really and choose 5 of the best posts and 5 of the worst posts. And I would break them up and divide them between videos and posts, like carousels or photo or graphics. And I would look at the views and the shares to kind of see what was going, because as a content creator, you're like, what type of content do I need to be making? Because you could make something that goes viral once and it won't go viral again. So for us, I'm never looking to go viral. I'm just looking for our audience to engage with it. And I'm also looking for feedback within the ministry of the people. Now this works for like a local church because you can talk with people and see the people that are like, oh yeah, I saw you guys on Instagram, or they're resharing things. But a practical, actual number, Spencer, if you have any thoughts really quick, because I felt like you did.
Yeah, I mean, we measure what works. So if it
Yeah.
obviously went viral, it obviously worked. And then I deconstruct why did it work. And the common denominator I come to is always just if it was a good story. I think that always universally works. A great story with irony, actually. Irony is the number one working factor. If your story has incredible irony and payoff, it's going to go viral, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like Pastor Paul's
And
golf
can
club
people-
story.
Yeah.
That was probably, that's our best video
Yeah.
across the ministry, and it has the best irony in it. So
Yeah, if people can connect to it, I think is how we measure. Let's pass the mic back to Alexis, and then Jazz, what was your thought on that?
Oh, I was gonna say that for something more practical for you, the young adults department had their first March drop. Okay, so that means all the planning behind what we were gonna post on social media, we did that. We had the photo shoot, we had the promo videos, we had the announcements in service. So our practical ROI that we could look back on was the number of sales, of course, from the merch that we did, how much we spent on making it versus how much we were able to receive from all the sales. And then there we determined, okay, should we do this again? Should we do another drop? And the first drop that we did, we sold out. So of course we were like, okay, this worked. The design worked, thankfully, from the help of our creative department. So then we made plans to do it again, and we did. Yeah.
Sometimes there's tangible and sometimes there's not in the reward. Alexis.
Hi guys, you guys are so cool. I wish I could meet you guys one day, but
Whatever.
Alexis also does social media. So yeah, shout out to Alexis because she probably knows more than we do.
no, not at all. Actually, I have a legit question for y'all.
Yeah.
So this weekend, I am leading the social media team for a conference. So they've contracted me to do like an oversight for them, but like I've never done that before. But fake it till you make it. So,
No, me too.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm you when you got hired on while you were at ORU. So
Totally.
so true. So my question to you guys is, as you guys lead your social media departments, right? And you guys at a conference like this, because it's like similar to the conference this weekend, how do you maneuver your team, put people in their places? Like, what does oversight look like? Like, not doing the role of the content creator, but telling people and delegating.
Yes. I would say the first thing to get in your mind is it's not that deep. None of it's that deep, because people are going to come experience the conference and lives are going to be changed because Jesus is deep, and the social media is just supposed to showcase that, and I know you know that, but for everyone, that's like my mindset going into things. We've had a variety of people that are new recently get involved, and our content creation team is structured with so we have guys that are going to be doing video, and then we have mainly staff that are editing. So figure out like the strength in each person. Same with photographers. Who is fast, because you have your end result you want, which is the turnaround time and that you need your post up. People can edit, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are fast at editing. And then who takes all of their editing and their content creation really like personally, like Kyle, I'm just kidding. And then who is like, I want to spend hours on this coloring, this color grade and all this stuff. And then who are the people that are down to kind of just like cut corners in a sense, and make it good, but you don't have to spend hours and hours and hours on it. So you need to find people with good capacity to put into those roles. And then I also think, so I do a shot list every night with a shared note, just practically, and I do each person's name and I give them a checklist to go by, and that checklist is just the things I would like for them to capture that is an ask. And then after the ask is completed or in the midst of the ask, I tell them, I really want you guys to create and capture what you guys also see in the lobby, in the service, at altar, all those things. Give them parameters to follow in. I think people are better at following like a path of direction and, receiving what you're delegating to them whenever they have a parameter. So we're like the practical things of like where to go in the room, where not to go in the room. Here's the things. Tell them what you don't want first, because then they won't accidentally do it. And then you don't have to go back and correct later. Just tell them exactly what you want and also what you don't want. And then say anything in between. Like if you have an idea, let the idea foster a culture that lets ideas come in. People are more willing to create better whenever you give them space to like bring contribution to it, to the table. And then in addition, like get to know the people you're leading personally and figure out what makes them come alive and what they like, because they're more willing to create. And when you're working with volunteers, when you're working with staff, you can also assign them things that they don't necessarily like, right? Because they're getting paid to do it. But with volunteers, I always want to know, like, I care more about my volunteer than what they're making, I care more about them being a part of it. And then from them being a part of it, we get to create something awesome together. And everything is a collaboration. So, like, if you give one person an assignment, no one needs to take too much ownership over that assignment. Like, we have an intern that's starting with us from ORU, and she brought some ideas to the table. And then Lavinia, if she's in here, there's Lavinia. She works with me. Lavinia had some ideas too, and because of her school schedule, she can't be the one to execute all those ideas. So Milena might have to make some of those ideas for her. So just making sure the whole team knows collaboratively, we don't own what we're making. This is all for this vision and this goal. And it's not even that like the way that you do things or I do things as a leader over content creators is the way to do things. It is a way of doing things. So at Victory, I'm always asking, what are the ideas you guys have? Okay, great. Here's the overall vision and goal. I need 4 reels. I need 10 stories. I want to use links on them. We aren't going to use grain or lens flare or like whatever the specifications are. Like I want you to use PNG stickers on your stories so the branding is cohesive, Give them some parameters to be in, and then I feel like they will run a lot easier. It's kind of like putting someone on a treadmill or giving them a mile to run outside on a sidewalk. The treadmill's a little bit more contained, but they're more likely to know when it's over, and then, oh, yeah, Spencer? Oh, there's another question. Okay, we'll go to the other question. Can we walk the microphone there? Oh, amazing. That's basically it. Sorry, I can go on. I apologize. What's your question?
Okay. Is there a process or permission needed for a church to post on social media?
Yeah, for the people in the congregation. So with us owning our building, and then people becoming members, we have a disclaimer in our membership form that says that we will take content of you to post and use on our social media accounts. It's said a lot better than that. But then in addition, if anyone ever doesn't want us to take content of people, we delete it. Anything involving like DHS or anything legally, foster children, anything like that, we don't document. And we also make a point to try to make eye contact with people and try to connect with people when we're capturing them. So it doesn't just look like we're taking pictures, randomly, and you can tell when someone's uncomfortable. And so we always, work in that flow of making sure we're not shooting people that don't want to have their photo taken.
Okay, and is there a special permission for young adults or youth or children?
Oh, I was going to say for children, whenever people become members, their children are normally listed, and that's on that. And then we work with our kids team. We are not allowed to show name tags of children online, so we stand by that, and we always blur it, or we ask the child to put the tag on their back. We also ask our kids pastor, because she's very good, knows everyone's name and knows who is new. So we try to take pictures of kids that are not new because we don't know their parents' stance on it yet. Our kids team is phenomenal and does that a lot, and has those specifics. And then for young adults, it's a little bit more on the standard of like lobby photos for the church, like
Yeah,
visually.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
I've had a few people come to me and say like, hey, I don't really want to be posted, just because
Yeah.
they know the culture of Victory is that we do post pretty much everyone, unless said otherwise. But I have had people come and say like, hey, I don't really want to be posted because I don't want this person to know that I'm going to church here. Like, I kind of want to just go and know that I can
Yeah.
worship freely without thinking about someone coming to find me. So yeah, I think we all do a pretty good job
We're
at
just in the details.
adhering to that if
Yeah.
someone does have a special request.
Yeah. And if something's posted, I've had people message our account and say, hey, can you please take this off? And we delete it, absolutely, and let them know we weren't trying to, put anything out there they didn't want. So,
Probably have time for one more question.
yes, one more if you have any. Oh, green. Nice.
Whoa.
I know, girl.
My question was, if someone's content doesn't mainly circle around church, do you have any tips of how they still can incorporate Jesus into their content without it being the center?
Absolutely. Like your personal social media. Yeah. I mean, I think, Jazz, you do a really great job of this. So if you want to,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. If you are a follower of Jesus and you love God, it'll probably be a little hard to try to have an effort into making sure your content isn't proclaiming Jesus. I mean, like Kyle said earlier, we know that the vision of Victory is to love God, love people. So with that doesn't mean that every graphic that we post is literally going to say love God, love people, because you guys would probably get annoyed with that. But I do think it is important that even the way that you live reflects the love of God. Like I've made vlogs and stuff on my page before, put it on my story, but I still think it's blatantly obvious that I love God because I'm probably listening to worship music in my car, or I might be wearing Christian merch, or, I mean, I feel like you can also just, I know I'm using Christianese here, but you can also just discern or tell that somebody loves Jesus even by the way that they speak. Are they speaking clean? Do they have a bunch of cuss words that they use in their video? What kind of sound are they using? On my personal page, I pretty much refrain from using any song, especially if it has the explicit mark on it, because I wouldn't want anyone to watch my video and be like, okay, it seems like Jazz loves God, but like, why does she also have this explicit song in the background that may not even have cuss words in it, but I don't even want to leave room for anyone to think something other than what I'm trying to promote. So yeah, I think that just naturally, if you say that you love God and that's the life that you're trying to portray, that it'll just come across even without you necessarily having to say, hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about Matthew 6:33, seek first you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do that, but I think it'll still reflect in the content that you're posting.
And
Thank you.
follow people that post content that you like and that you create your algorithm, and so the stuff that you watch that you get entertained with, you're like, oh, maybe I would want to make that type of content. Try it out, like see how it does on your account. I know some people are trying to become influencers, people are micro influencers or whatever it is. But if you're posting content that feels authentic and it feels like it's you and it's also being able to showcase Jesus, like it's going to come out in your content because that's how you're actually living, I think is, just the bottom line. But good question. Yeah. Yeah. So I used to stay, he asked about what is the best time to post. I used to stay very consistent, and Instagram's changed. There used to be an app I used, and then I also follow people that like used to talk about it, of like certain peak times to post that are just like generalized. But now the algorithm is very different. So like you could post something today and maybe I wouldn't see it for 2 weeks, even though I follow you. So it's a little bit more frustrating and less chronological. I used to always post between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. And then if I was posting in the evening, I posted between 5 and 8. But I also think about seasons and days and holidays. Like holidays, people are on their phones, or they could like totally not be. And like the day after the holiday they are, or just look at like where you live and what is going on in society. And then you can also see who would maybe be on their phone. When we post about like honoring like veterans, 9/11, any like thing that's going on in the world that everyone is also posting about, I always post at like 7 a.m. because I want our post to be in the same flow of all the other posts that we see out there. And so it's like, oh, Victory posted too with that because we want to honor that, or whatever holiday we're celebrating. But yeah, I think it's per your account. You'll also see, and I always say, try something for like 3 months, see if it does well, and then switch it up. That's what's helped our account grow, is being able to switch it up and stay consistent with certain things, and then be able to change because social is always changing as well. So
I was going to say Instagram also
it
will
gives
tell you in
yeah.
the analytics what time of day your followers are most likely liking it. So I look at that too.
You can click the
and I'll
analytic.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so easy. Why didn't I say that? Yes. I actually just stopped looking at it because it wasn't as accurate sometimes. Okay, well, I think that's all we have time for. I wanted to let you guys know if we could put up the slide with our emails and the QR code. This QR code, if you are interested in serving with us and you live here, you feel free to fill out that QR code. But then in addition, on the QR code, if you don't have experience in media, this is also for our audio visual team. So the guys in the back running the microphones, that team, and then our camera operators in the room that get to capture the message happening on our different live cameras. And then we also have our church online team. So if you guys enjoy hosting, chatting online, we manage our Facebook and YouTube lives. And so that is another role if you don't have content creation experience that you could do. And then our emails are up there. Again, Cody Applegate, Samantha Applegate. Sorry, my email still says right. It's okay. I'll change my last name. Eventually, it's now been 3 years of marriage. It'll be okay. Jaslyn and Kyle, and we'll stick around in the lobby. I know there's another breakout at 2:45, but we really enjoyed sitting here talking about stuff with you guys today. And please feel free. We also have an Instagram. I should have put it up, but it's called the U, and then the letter U, at AT, and then VC, like Victory Church. That is our creative account, and so you guys are welcome to follow that, and even just DM us on Victory's account. Any questions you guys have, we'd love to connect with you more. And thanks for spending an hour with us. So, sweet. Actually, real quick, I'm going to pray for everyone in the room. Someone mentioned that and she left, and it's okay. She had somewhere to be. Heavenly Father, Lord, I just thank you so much for today, this connection we got to have in this breakout session, God. I hope that everyone sitting here today and everyone that is just at Victory Conference, God, you're giving them just a specific word, a specific confirmation, something just inside of them, Lord, and that for everyone that wants to be a content creator that currently is or just needs help in the realm of all the things we talked about today, God, we know that your hand is on each of them and that you put these desires in their heart to see fruitful, God, and that you are leading, guiding, and directing them, giving them labors in their path, Lord, giving them creative ideas, giving them resources, God, and also just encouraging them emotionally, God, that we can all get to a place sometimes where we feel burned out or we don't know where to look, but we know that you are the path we're going to follow and that you are going to give us just new creative vision and fresh ideas for 2026 for all the things that they're going to create, and that we're all doing it just unto your glory. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you. Put the mic down now.